This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend that is Omar Kelly, baby, in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Oh, let me ask you something. If Changeli is here running the offense, are they still 1-4?
Probably 2-3. I still think it. I think that there's no reason or excuse why you lost that Colts game. I will not give you any.
No, of course not.
Interesting that you asked that. I'm glad that they streamlined the offensive coordinator. I think George Godsey probably has the opportunity to be a better offensive coordinator now that maybe he can have a direct line to the quarterback. The whole system that they set up, while I understood it in theory, there's a reason why nobody else does it. Same thing with co-coordinators. While I understand it in theory, there's a reason why only one other team does it in Minnesota with co-defensive coordinators.
But Minnesota's bogus. You know why? Because they're running Zimmer's defense. So really, it's two dudes running. You know what I mean? It's not really a two system. You're really running a Z-man system.
Say the same thing about
Zimmer's a defensive guru, man. That's
why.
Flo
was never a defensive coordinator. He just ran Belichick's defense.
Right. But you still have to make the calls. You still have to make the calls on downs.
Was he?
So that part.
Are you sure? Was he?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. He was calling the plays. On defense, he was. No, he lets his coordinators. No, Belichick lets his coordinator. Look at it. You'll see. Belichick's not calling every defensive down. You can look at it.
I didn't think he was. I didn't think.
No. He let that part. I mean, I can't take. You can never take that. It's kind of it's the opposite of Philbin, doggy. Philbin helped McCarthy coordinate the offense, but on game day, McCarthy was still calling the game. So Philbin never was really the guy ever in Green Bay. Whereas the reverse was Flo. He did call the defense. So let's give him credit there, because that's a chess game, doggy. That's IQ to IQ. You got to give him a little love there. We got to. He deserves
that. Yeah.
You're so rough.
Yeah, I am. I gotta be, man. I gotta be.
You're so rough. No, but you're right. Listen, bottom line is nothing Flo's doing is working. You know what I mean?
But this is the first time
when we watch the 2 linemen leave from here, Flowers and what was the name of that dude again? Emmanuel or whatever the hell. And they're both.
I don't even. He wasn't good.
Whatever. He had a name like Alzugaray. But both guys are helping out other teams right now and playing well for them, and they're not playing well.
They're playing
here.
okay. They're not necessarily playing well, but yeah, that wasn't.
It would be nice if we had an okay line here. I'm just saying.
They might get to it. They might get to it. They might get to it now that they don't have a turnstile at left tackle.
Okay, but my bigger point is that Flo made probably bad decisions there to get rid of those guys, and then he made a bad decision.
Wait a minute. We keep having this conversation back all the time about.
He controls the 53, bro. He controls. If he wanted Flowers here, Greer doesn't let him go, dude.
The offseason is Greer's. The offseason is Greer's.
But that doesn't mean he makes the decisions on everything. He will then give his coach.
Man, I can't believe how much, literally.
Let me finish.
Eric Flowers is Chris Greer.
Okay, if you want to say it, that's fine. But then you got this mess at offense with the coordinators. Then I look at your best players, and you can't coach them up either. X, Jones, and Baker, they're all underperforming. Don't forget Rowe, because Rowe is okay. But I don't.
Rowe's good. Was good.
but I don't count on Rowe like I count on those three
No,
guys.
you do count on Rowe. You have to count on Rowe. You have to.
I know, but those guys are the big money players. Is what I'm
Don't worry
saying.
about money.
Those
don't
are
worry about
supposed to
money.
be your
Who's
stars
doing
on
their
your
job. Don't worry about money. The list of guys like last year, this team is driven by roles. Everybody has their little role. And a lot of the guys were killing their roles and doing very well at their roles. This year, not so much. And you know, I think, and I think I said this to you a little bit yesterday, I think that, you know, the team was evolving in 19 as the season progressed. The team is evolving in 20 as the season progressed.
Yes.
So it was harder for teams to put a feel and a finger on what they were doing and how do you coach it and how do you adjust to it and how do you attack it. Okay, because it was evolving, it was formulating. And by the time we got to the end of the season, they had created an identity. What I think we're seeing here is not only did some of the changes that were made kind of chip away at that identity or chip away at the veteran leadership or chip away at the reliability of what's going on, and that sort of compromise other things on the team. But I think teams have figured out, oh, you're going to be man-to-man? Okay, we're going to hit Xavier with crossers all game. Like, that's the only way you can really beat Xavier. Crossers. Just cross him. Just cross him, running picks.
No, they've beat him deep too, bro. They've beat him deep.
I mean,
in the first month, they have toasted X everywhere, bro. In the first month, he's been toasted by everybody.
I say this all the time about X. He's not a shutdown corner. What he is he's a ball-getting corner. Now, you need a little bit better pressure so that those passes cannot be as accurate as they are, because if it's in X's zone, he's got a good chance of getting it. If you got no pressure, the quarterback has all day to throw like Tom Brady does, and he can pinpoint passes, X is going to get beat, as is any cornerback. Name me the cornerback that Tom Brady does not beat. And let's not act like it wasn't Antonio Brown roasting him.
Doesn't matter, bro. They're paying him to cover Antonio Brown. They're paying him to be, if he's an elite corner, he's there to cover elite receivers. And let me tell you, he's gotten burned by guys that aren't elite either.
That is correct.
All throughout the year. X has been burned on crossing, on deep routes, for touchdowns.
He's been beat.
And Jones has gotten beat the same. And Jerome Baker's playing like dog shit.
Yeah.
So these are the three money guys that you have on this team.
Who did you say who's the first outside X? Who's the other guy you said?
Jones and Baker.
What Jones? Byron Jones?
Byron's
okay. Byron's been doing all right.
No, he's played terrible too. He's given up a bunch of passes also this year. None of the three money guys.
Compared to what we saw last year, I think Byron's playing better than that played last year.
I think all three guys.
Hold on. Quarterbacks are going to get beat. Let's not like the game is structured and set up for them to get beat.
I get that.
Think about how many times you've seen a receiver push off on a cornerback. Like, I think they pushed off on X. And
Evans.
Yeah. No ref is calling that. They should.
No, they weren't. No.
They should, but they won't, because offense makes this an $11 billion league. Nobody's paying to see Xavier or Byron Jones or Darrell Revis or Richard Sherman. Nobody paying to see them.
But you were making the plays last year, and now you're not.
You were getting the ball last year.
Well, you were making the plays last year.
That's the only reason you had a good defense, outside of the fact that you were a third. Two reasons they were a good defense. They got turnovers, and that was all X, mostly X. And they had tremendous amount of success in the red zone and on third downs. They were number one in the league in third downs defense.
Okay. Well, how come they're not doing it again?
You're not good at it.
They were opportunistic when they had no talent the first year at the end of the year in that 5-4 run. They were opportunistic last year. Why aren't they opportunistic this year? I don't get it. Why?
When you say opportunistic, you got to quantify that and define it for me, because I didn't think they were.
They made plays in key moments to turn over a game Both 19 and 20 in the back end of 2019.
No, let's
They found a way to get. They
opportunistic in
found a way to get
2020.
off
I
the
give you
field. No, but not even
opportunistic
19.
in 2020. I give you
No, but even in
19,
the back end, yeah.
19, as I said, and you argued me for 2 years. 19, all but one victory was Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, and you can give Flo credit for whatever you want.
But Doggy, in order for you to win, the team has to make stops. The defense was opportunistic in 19 at the back end. They made plays. They found ways to deflect passes, turn over people, get a key sack. They did things in 19 in the back, even in the back end with no talent. They found a way to make a difference in some games. And then last year, obviously, they were really good all year long doing it. This year, Omar, they're not. That's my point with Flo right now. He hasn't done anything right. Nothing. That's the problem I see with Flo. His veterans aren't playing well. His rookies aren't playing well. The team isn't playing well. The defense isn't opportunistic. There is nothing. And then his structure is not working out either, whether it was the offensive coordinators, these kind of things. Everything that he has done has been wrong so far this year. That's my point.
Personnel is also wrong. Team is also
wrong. Of course. Everybody goes wrong. Listen,
you're starting quarterbacks hurt. You're starting, and I'm not making excuses for him because, as you know,
you drafted an injury-prone quarterback, so we're not going to sit here and be surprised that he's injured.
That's
So, everybody can fight the whole. Oh no, he just had bad luck. Bullshit, dude. He's injury-prone. He's always been injury-prone. That's the problem with the kid from high school to college and now in the NFL.
He's small.
Right.
He's small. I watched him, and I love him. I love him. I believe in him. But I was watching the warm-ups, and I was watching him closely just to see because he's not warming up, he's not practicing, but he's walking around and he's dapping up players, and him and Devontae Parker. And I'm looking at him standing next to Devontae Parker, and I know how Devontae Parker looks size-wise, so I know Devontae's a bigger-esque, not big, but bigger-esque receiver. He looked like a giant compared to Tua without pads. And I was just like, man. And I knew Tua wasn't big. I knew he wasn't a big quarterback. But
that part to me, the part was you didn't protect him. You knew what you were drafting.
They thought
you knew what you were drafting. You should have spent real money on the O-line and go get some dogs that you have to overpay for. Like when I'm watching Kansas City with Tunney, you should have bought his ass, dude, when you had a chance. Screw that, man. Overpay. But if you're going to draft an injury-prone quarterback, come on, dude. Protect him at least. And that's the part that's just crazy.
What you should have done, and I hear what you're saying, and I hear your thought process, and I don't disagree with your thought process. I've said from the get-go, this line isn't good enough. And I don't even like the approach that they've taken to supplement the line. I don't like the approach that they took to build the line. I don't like the approach that they took to supplement the line. I don't like the approach that they took to coach the line.
All decisions were terrible. All of them were terrible. And I'm not even, and by the way, I'm not even sure that all these guys are terrible, the young guys. I don't even know if they're being coached up the right way right now at this point. That's my problem.
I think we're I hear where you're coming from. I think we're at a starting point. Like, I'm going to begin evaluating this team, this line, this quarterback. I'm going to that first portion of the season, first 5 games, didn't happen. Slate is clean right now. From my standpoint, because
I see what you're saying. No, I like what you're saying because now you've readjusted the line the way maybe it should be. They played their best.
You stop all your foolishness with three hands in the kitchen, 3 cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
Like,
and now you get Tua back.
Tua back. I don't know if you get Tua back. Let's not like guarantee that because he's got to look good in practice. What'd you say?
Yeah, it seems like they must know something.
Let's wait.
The way Flo was talking, he kind of gave it away.
That's the hope. That's the hope. But you got to see him in practice. There are things that he hasn't been asked to do in a month that he's finally going to get the green light to do. And we don't know if he's going to be able to throw on the move. We don't know if he's going to
quick twitch stuff. might be something that
and I continue to remind people, and I really hope that you get this. Jay Cutler played with broken ribs and a flak jacket at the end of the season in 2017 and was playing hot potato with the ball because he didn't want anybody come nearing him or touching it because he was in pain.
Right.
And the team eventually quit when they realized, okay, well, this is it. This is all we got. And Gase is making excuses for it, and that's his guy, and it's all our fault. Like, all right, we're done. And it was Jay Cutler's inability to play. I mean, remember, he quit. He said, I'm not playing in the season finale. He was just like, I'm out there. I'm sorry. All right, I'm done.
Right.
I can't do this anymore. And, that's what you get for talking a guy out of retirement. But the issue was the broken ribs. And it's not easy to play with broken ribs.
No, I know that. I know.
And we're not talking about
it's not easy to take a dump with broken ribs.
I've never had them, so I don't know.
Well, ask players. They'll tell you. I've had players tell me taking a dump is hard with broken ribs. And especially if the cartilage is damaged. Oh, my God.
Yeah. I never thought about that.
Too much information, but I've heard that information. Okay.
So this whole thing and theory that Tua's gonna come back and he's gonna be the savior and he's gonna rescue the season and he's gonna be great. Like, let's calm down. Let's
I don't hear anybody saying he's the savior. I think we're all excited to have him back so we can find out if he's the guy or not.
Yeah, but he's gonna be playing at 70%. Not that I'm making excuses for it, but like,
I get it.
A 70%.
It's the only hope, dude. It's the only hope in the season left now. Really.
I think, not that I have hope for this season, because as you know, there's fundamentally so many things that are wrong. And it starts with the roster. It starts with you having to evaluate and assess every single move that they've made, and none of them have panned out. And I'm not just talking about 2020. I'm talking about 2021. I'm also talking about 2020.
Of course.
So all the things that you've done in the offseason, let's just think this out, okay? Not that I'm a Kyle Van Noy fan, but Kyle Van Noy was reliable at his job and allowed other people to do other things. Who's doing that for you now?
Nobody.
Not that I'm an Eric Flowers fan, but Eric Flowers held Austin Jackson's hand like he was a toddler walking the street and allowed him to play at a respectable level. You removed him from the equation, and all of a sudden, Austin Jackson is a total shit show.
That's your boy. That's your boy Flo that got rid of those guys.
Bobby McCain, sure-ended guy, not a sexy player, but you know what? Your defense was always in the right position. You did not get beat by big plays. You did not get beat by big plays. He gets shoved out the door for Jason McCourty. That's supposed to be Flo's guy. So, you got Javon Holland and I like him and move to the rookie movement, and I'm totally on board with that. Your decisions when it comes to running backs in the offseason. Malcolm Brown, you knew you had two running backs who could not pass protect, or they struggle with pass protection, and you only added one back for like the league minimum. You didn't go draft one. You didn't sign a higher end player, and then you wonder why you're only averaging 70 yards per carry, and why your top players like Myles Gaskin can't get on the field because he can't pass protect. You added 4 tight ends. Good God. You knew Mike Gesicki was a gimmick player. You added a bunch of tight ends to the roster. Are they on the field? Are they contributing? Are they making an impact? No. They're playing ahead of Mike Gesicki, but they're not making an impact. Why is that?
Offensive coordinators, quarterback play. I don't know. There's a lot of things.
And that gets to my point. The roster is fundamentally flawed in how it was built. You have a quarterback You have a backup quarterback who does not do what the RPO well.
Oh no, it's
And
terrible.
your whole offense is RPO based.
It's terrible.
Not to say that it's easy to find an RPO quarterback, because Tua is supposedly the RPO god in the college scouting community. There's nobody. They teach RPO using Tua. They're like, everybody in the college and high school ranks teaches RPO using Tua. So I get it, but you could have found yourself another RPO quarterback, but you didn't. And I'm not arguing with you because
wait a minute. Does he play for the Patriots?
yeah, but that's not yeah. Anyway, that's no. He an RPO quarterback.
I'm just saying, if the Patriots had cut a former RPO guy, he would be here.
Is he really an RPO guy? Is Cam Newton an
But they
RPO guy?
traded a big stiff to Indy, and so that's who they end up bringing, the big stiff to Indy, who's a completely different quarterback than Tua. And why? Because your boy Flo wanted him.
My boy?
Yeah, your boy.
When has he been my boy? Are you crazy? Flo thinks I'm out the
boy
gate.
Flo.
He thinks I'm out. I'm enemy number one. Like, my boy Flo. Like, come on now.
Your boy Flo, who really has that defense humming. To me, that's the ultimate indictment on Flo, because any head coach, whatever his expertise is, normally that part of the
listen,
team
they had one bad game
solid.
against the Patriots.
Against Tampa.
Tampa.
The first 2 years.
They had one bad game against Tampa Bay. Let's calm down on the defense.
Buffalo yesterday. What are you talking about? Flo's defense has sucked. Terrible, dude. They allow big runs on every game.
I think the biggest indictment is
he goes, yeah.
They didn't take a step forward in anything.
No, they took steps back. Is what they did. That's the problem. Not a step
but
forward.
You know what? And I say this, and I truly do mean this. Has Flo not earned grace from you?
Oh yeah, that's why I want to find out what goes on in the next 12 games. Yeah, no,
has he not
listen, I don't want to fire any of these guys.
Huh?
I don't want to fire any of these guys. I don't. I really don't. I want them to figure it out. I want Tua to play really well in the next 12 games.
Let's pause it. Let's pause what you just said. You don't want them to fire any of the guys. What's supposed to finish? What's supposed to finish the season 4-13?
I mean, I'm going to understand if they fire him. I get it. But the problem is,
I can't say.
I don't know who you're bringing in.
No,
and whoever you're bringing in, and then that starts it all over again.
But hold on. If we're gonna criticize, and this is why I said this, because I don't know what I feel or what I think. I do know this is what I do think and what I do feel. If you look at all the Bill Belichick assistants, there's one universal theme in all of them. That assistants that become
head coaches. They suck as head coach. They suck as head coaches.
They eventually lost their job when their teams quit on them. Their teams was like, yeah, fuck that dude. I'm out.
Yeah, he's not Belichick.
Yeah, right. And I know that will happen to Flo. Now, I don't know when it will happen to Flo. I don't think it's happened yet. I don't know if it'll happen this season. I don't know if it'll happen next season. But I know it will eventually happen to Flo.
Yeah.
Now, the question is...
He's on that pace right now.
The question is, how do you counteract that? And to me, there's only 3 things and 3 solutions that will allow you to counteract that. Because I don't think you can be any, and he's not a loose coach, but the way you can sense things, you could sense that he realizes I don't have a strong hold on this team. So I got to figure out a way to get a better grasp on it. You know what I'm saying? I've gone through this with so many coaches, so I know what it looks like. I don't have a strong hold on this media, so I need to give them a little bit more and be more transparent and be more personable. And I'm going against what who I am and what I am, but like I'm trying to survive here. And
Right.
this is the ebbs and flow of things that I deal with and have gone through over 14 years, and you for 25 years.
31. Or go ahead.
But the only thing that fixes this is Tua coming back and Tua being a savior. I can't say that's going to happen. I love Tua.
Well, I'm not looking for him to be a savior. I just want.
Okay.
I'm just hoping that the kid plays well, because at least that'll then at least give you some hope down the line.
That's
because
correct.
right now the coaching staff's not giving you hope. The front office is not giving you hope. The team is not giving you hope. So quarterback is the one last thing that we have right now that we could be hopeful for in the next 12 games. If the kid can stay healthy and start to play better, that would be really, really nice.
Also, let's put this out there. You can make that Deshaun Watson trade before the November 2nd deadline, and you could re-energize your team and re-energize your fan base and buy yourself some time and say, hey, screw it, this ain't working.
I don't know if you re-energize. I think you loaded up with a ton of controversy. One, you'll have women's rights groups all pissed off.
That goes away. That goes away in 2 weeks.
Wait a minute, but
that
Omar,
goes away after his first victory.
Omar, you're assuming he plays. What happens if he's actually guilty and there are some criminal charges
You're
come?
correct.
What happens? Then you traded for that?
We waited out.
Even bigger.
I'm not saying it's the right approach. I'm telling you what can save him.
I don't know if that's a save.
Yeah, it can save him. Sure. It can save him. It can buy him time.
It's because we don't know, man. That's gonna bring a lot of controversy, and we don't know the end result.
I'm the guy who brings the controversy, and trust me, it'll last 2 weeks.
You don't bring that kind of controversy.
All right, I deal with
it. You're a good dude. You're a good dude. You might piss off some Dolphin fans, but I know you. You're a good human being, bro. You're not.
Listen, the protesters and the women's rights and the listen, he's not
sponsors. Sponsors maybe pissed.
Sponsors. He's not one. Ross is already on board with it if you're going to do it. So Ross already has looked at the ramifications, discussed it thoroughly, analyzed it. He's good. It's the same situation when the Kaepernick situation, when they thought about it, because they did, and then they said, no, we'd rather go Cutler. They thought about it, and they're like, yeah, we'd have protesters for about a week, and we got to deal with the Armandos of the world and this, but is it worth it? And they were like, no. And they said, let's go talk Jay Cutler out of retirement and pay him $10 million, which was just a dumb idea. But they thought about it. And I still say and still believe and now even think that the Tua trainer comments, I don't know if you've seen that or heard that or thought about it. And
he lost the team.
Huh?
And he lost the team. Yeah.
And there is some, there are always factions in there. And I hear from players right after games. And there's always factions in there that are of that sentiment. And he's accurate. Everything he said was accurate. And there's no denying the things that he said, which is probably why he got taken down. Now, the question is, where did he get it from? Because there's a lot of people that he trains that's not just Tua.
Right.
Flo, people have this misperception that Flo, people can't talk to Flo. Flo don't listen. People can't talk to Flo. So
no, nobody talks to Flo. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that.
So, and that's one of the bigger knocks. And the fact that when he said that, I was just like, oh shit, he know. He knows. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to have him lose the locker room, in my opinion. But has it happened yet? No, I don't think so. Now, it would be easier for me to gauge if I was actually allowed inside the locker room, but we're not. It's still COVID season. But you can get the sentiment right now that it's on very shaky ground. And he knows that. He's not naive to it.
No, I know.
I mean, he's been blaming himself for a month, as he should. I mean, players have to take accountability and responsibility too. But the defense you played against a dynamic offense with no weapon, no weaknesses, wasn't smart, wasn't good. The execution wasn't great, but shouldn't have been in that defense. But it is what it is. And
Yep.
Flo even said it after the game. Stuff we were calling, it wasn't hitting. It wasn't working. And we kept calling it. I was like, yeah, that's accurate.
So you all know the trainer for Tua put out, Ross is pissed, team is bad, but if Tua wins next week against the Jags, it's for sure the defense and Flores is coaching, with emojis laughing. The kid deserves better. He got the shit end of the stick and above all has succeeded. Maybe not your idiotic opinion, but the numbers don't lie.
And those things are true. Tua has a 7-4 record. People will give it credit to the defense and Flo's coaching. And truthfully speaking, Tua's efficiency has contributed a lot to that. And it has contributed a lot to the defense having success and defense being able to put them in positions where opposing offenses have to be more aggressive and you have to pass, they have to pass, and you can pass rush. But you know what? Everything is a team. Everything works in unison, and Flo is a big believer in that. So, in fact, I think Flo is more of a believer in that than any coach that I've ever covered. It's a unison thing. A team has to work together, and right now they're not working as a team. Now the question is, how do you fix that? Leadership. What are you laughing at? It's fixable. It's fixable.
I don't think it's fixable.
It's fixable. You had a very difficult start.
I'm hoping that they do it in the next 12 games.
I'm not saying it's like fixable and you can become a playoff team.
No, that's done. I explained
it's fixable. You can win 7-8 games. Fixable.
Right. It's yeah. I explained that today because they still have Buffalo, Baltimore, and at Tennessee. Those are 3 losses.
Oh, you say Ryan Tannehill gonna put his foot in their ass?
No, I'm saying Derrick Henry's gonna put 2 foots in their asses. is what's gonna happen. I've seen them against the run, and they're not stopping that dude right there.
They can sell out to stop the run. Listen how screwed up this is. Stop the run and let Tannehill do what he wants.
Listen how screwed up this is. You're gonna lose at Buffalo. You're gonna lose to Baltimore because they always punch you in the mouth. And you'll lose to Tennessee because they're going to shove Derrick Henry right down your throat, and you're not going to do a damn thing about it.
Did I get you to 7 losses?
You got the Jags coming up. You got Atlanta. You got Houston. You got at the Jets, Carolina, the Giants, the Jets again, at New Orleans, and versus New England. All winnable games. Those are 9 games. You have 1 win. That would be 10. There's no way this team wins all 9 of those games the way they're playing. I mean, we just saw what happened with the Colts, right, recently. And the Raiders game was a winnable game. Those are the 2 games that have screwed up your season already. Because if you're 3-2 right now, with all those games left, you're looking pretty good. The fact you ended up 1-4, and now you've got to run the table on the winnable games. This team is not playing like they can win all the winnable games. I mean, that's why I'm telling you that there is no playoffs anymore now this season. There's no way that Flo turns this thing around where it's at to get to the playoffs. That now 7 or 8 wins, yeah, you're onto something. I think that's probably what they're working.
Yeah, on. I mean that's gotta be. Yes, it's not a winning season anymore, but it's possible. It's realistic. It's doable.
Yeah, 7 or 8 wins is doable.
And here's my thing: they're about, and I'm gonna do a column on that this week. There are about 10 things that's going wrong with this team. If you address 1 a week, just fix 1 a week, and then make sure that it's fixed the rest of the way. And coaches have done that here. I remember Joe Philbin used to do that. He'd do it late, but he finally get to something a month in, and it worked. And I think Flo has the capabilities of doing that because he's shown you that he's done it before. And he's shown you he's done it the last 2 years. Now, the question is his players got to buy in. And in 2019, you know why they bought in? Because the Dolphins were their only chance of NFL employment. The Dolphins were their only chance of being going from a practice squad player to a 53-man player. And players were forced to buy in out of desperation. Last year, they bought in because they saw the results. Now, what's the motivation to buy in? You're not desperate.
Outside of your contract and incentives, I don't know anything, doggy, right now.
Dolphins are already showing you they don't give a fuck about your contract and incentives.
No, I know, but I'm just giving you the only carrot that you can dangle right now. I mean,
Dolphins are already showing you they don't give a fuck. They don't care. So, and honestly, I expect a completely new roster next year because if these guys are still here, because you're going to have to purge the locker room. When you lose the locker room, you're going to have to purge the locker room. And I do expect Flores to lose the locker room this year. I don't expect him to be fired, but I do expect him to lose the locker room this year. And when you lose the locker room, you're going to purge the locker room. Now, there's only so much purging you can do.
Yeah.
So, and then we're here. We're playing a desperate season in 2022, and maybe it's a new quarterback, maybe it's the same quarterback. Who knows? It's a never-ending cycle for me. Every 4 years, man. Every 4 years.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. And, of course, you can catch him here a couple times a week with the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. Tell you, it's rough waters, my brother.
This is when the work gets fun. This is when the work gets fun.
I wish you could cover a playoff and a winning team because that would be a lot of fun.
That's not the reality I know, bro. That's not the reality.
I know it's not the reality but it's the reality we all want.
Yeah.
At least I want.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of it.
You know what it starts with? It starts with finding and getting an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
There's going to be two out there. Do what it takes to get them and start from there.
Well, I'm with you. I'm going after Rodgers. That's the guy I really want.
Yeah.
If I'm going after one of
the absolutely. Aaron, you could be the GM. Aaron Rodgers, quarterback / GM.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, no, definitely.
Who cares?
Hey, listen, if Greer's going to cater to Flo, I'd rather cater Aaron Rodgers, okay?
Thank you. Finally, we agree on something. Don't cater to Flo. Cater to Aaron Rodgers.
That's right. If Aaron Rodgers says keep Eric Flowers, you keep him.
Forget what Flo says. Go get Eric Flowers. You go get him. Aaron Rodgers says, give me Billy Turner. Give me Billy Turner. And it'll be the Billy Turner's resurrection. Come on home, Billy.
All right, love you, brother. We'll talk to you later in the week. Be good. There you go. Omar Kelly in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.